Well, good afternoon. My name is Matt Rentschler. I'm currently the Whitley Circuit Court Judge, and I was honored to be asked to be on the America 250 Whitley County Committee. And one of the things that I was charged with was this time capsule project, a new time capsule project for 2026 to be opened in 2076. So as part of that job, one of the things they wanted me to do was thank all the people involved uh, in the project and it got us here today. So I'll be thanking a lot of people in my remarks, and then you'll hear from a couple of other people. I want to first thank the group in 1976 who put together the project that we just opened down the block. That took a lot of effort. I'm sure we all saw on Facebook the picture of all the important people involved back in 1976, among them Graham Cleesby, Hester Adams, and a couple of friends of mine, Jim Hewer and Terry Smith, who are still around today. I want to thank them because we have a country where people are willing to step up and volunteer to be part of a celebration of our country. 50 years ago and today, people in our country see it as a civic duty to say yes when asked to be part of recognizing the greatness of our country. I also want to thank the founding fathers of our country. If you think about it, that's what we're celebrating today. 250 years ago, a bunch of guys got together and figured out how to put together a system of governance that allows us to go day to day, month to month, year to year, 250 years down the road, and we're still abiding by the same rules that they put together. Their task was choosing a structure that allowed people of all types to call themselves one people. People from warm states, people from cold states, people of different races, different religions, different ideas about how the rules of society should work. And they put together a framework that allowed that to exist and work for 250 years. We know they were successful because what they created has lasted 250 years, and hopefully 250, maybe 2,500 more. Wouldn't that be something? And not only has it lasted, it is, for a good part of that 250 years, widely recognized as the greatest country in the world. I want to introduce to you now my sister-in-law, Kristen Rentschler, who is the chairwoman of the America 250 Whitley County Committee, and she has some more thoughts to share with you. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon and happy Independence Day. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Whitley County America 250 Committee for joining us today in this celebration of our nation's 250th birthday and Whitley County's role within that story. When I accepted the role of chairperson of the America 250 Committee, I really had no concept of what that meant. So I thought about it for about 1.5 seconds before I said, sure, why not? So the past few years of work have taken me on a long journey of reflection on our nation's story and how we as a county reflect that story. When putting together this time capsule, I kept asking myself, what do I want people in 50 years to know about the people of today? About the people who make this place home, who make this county welcoming, who make this county competitive. In many ways, the contents of this time capsule answer that. America in 2026 can feel uncertain. We are divided, we are distrustful, and to some, the great American experiment might feel like it's failing. But history tells us something important. That is exactly how we started, too. We began divided, uncertain, and distrustful. The spirit of 1776 was not a single unified movement for independence. Radical revolutionaries like Sam Adams and Thomas Paine pushed for full independence. But others, moderates like George Washington, John Adams, and Ben Franklin, initially wanted reconciliation, and they wanted to just change within the empire. And then you had loyalists who wanted to remain loyal to the king. Rural farmers and frontier settlers tried to avoid picking sides altogether. Indigenous nations tried to preserve their land and way of life. They were often forced to support whichever side would give them the best chance to survive. And women, who were largely excluded from the political life, were still shaping families and communities and had to live with the consequences of the war. And then we have places like the Carolinas, where you had real internal conflict between backcountry settlers and coastal elites that sometimes felt less like a war against Britain and more like a civil war at home. And then in the South, more broadly, you also had plantation economies where some were fighting for liberty while also working to preserve enslaved labor. The spirit of 1776 then was not a unified people breaking free of tyranny, but an uneasy coalition that has since been shaped into a simpler, more unified story. And yet, out of that complexity comes something that still holds us together. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was never a finished product. It was a starting point. And that is why later in the preamble to the Constitution, we hear that same idea carried forward. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, not a perfect union, but a more perfect one, a recognition that this was always going to be a work in progress. So in 2026, our nation, our state, and our county can celebrate the American experiment. We can celebrate what we've accomplished and the brave men and women who have helped secure liberty for us, while still acknowledging that we are divided and we often disagree. We often compete, and yes, we often distrust each other. But we are still working toward that vision set forth at the beginning. This time capsule represents the people of this community. Educators, students, farmers, churches, athletes, artists, businesses, the Pride community, the Indigenous community, political leaders, public servants, historians, and veterans. We may be divided in our ideas, but we are still united as a community, working toward becoming more perfect. I hope when this capsule is opened in 50 years, our nation feels a little more unified and a little less divided and a little less uncertain, making steady progress toward that idea of more perfect. Thank you. Okay, I'm now going to invite up Rob Schuman, County Commissioner, to read a proclamation.
Proclamation commemorating the sealing of the Whitley County Time Capsule in observance of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Whereas the 4th day of July 2026 marks the semi-quincentennial of the United States of America, a historic milestone commemorating 250 years since the founding of our nation. And whereas Whitley County recognizes the significance of this anniversary and the opportunity it provides to honor the enduring principles, sacrifices, and achievements that have shaped our nation and our local community. And whereas the Whitley County Time Capsule has been assembled and prepared through the dedicated efforts of volunteers, civic organizations, and community leaders, representing a collective commitment to preserving the heritage, culture, and aspirations of the citizens of Whitley County in the year 2026. And whereas the contents of this time capsule serve as an official record and testament to the values, accomplishments, and community spirit of Whitley County, to be presented to future generations as a reflection of this significant moment in our history. And whereas it is fitting and proper that the Whitley County Board of Commissioners formally acknowledge and proclaim the sealing of this time capsule in recognition of the semi-quincentennial of the United States of America. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that the Whitley County Board of Commissioners, Rob Schuman, Stacy Petrovas, and Teresa Basinger, hereby solemnly recognize and commemorate the official sealing of the Whitley County Time Capsule on this 4th day of July, 2026. Be it further proclaimed that the board expresses its sincere appreciation to all individuals and organizations whose contributions ensured the successful completion of this commemorative project. This is the 4th day of July, 2026.
Thank you, Rob. Just a few more quick, very specific thanks. Putting this together is not easy work, and it took a lot of people and organizations, and they all deserve a mention. The American 250 Committee is headed by Kristen Rentschler. It also has Charlotte Blair as a member, Rachel Hartman, Mayor Ryan Daniel, Vicki Fleischauer, Kara Kinney, Larry Long, Ruth Stanley, and Tara Simmons. They all contributed to the idea and the project. When it comes to construction, we really lucked out in that Brent Bockelman stood up and volunteered to head the actual construction process. Boy, my thanks to him for that. He involved many other people. Dan Krill, a student or a teacher at the high school who brought his skills to bear in the project. Brian Kyler, who put together the metal box that is the time capsule that goes inside the brick structure. Buck Kilgore did the actual masonry construction, or did the vast majority of it that I saw happening last Wednesday. There were a couple of interns that Mr. Bockelman had from the high school that contributed their ideas and their efforts, Tyler Ledgerwood and Errol Molinax. I also want to thank the City of Columbia City, which helped put together the base a couple of weeks ago. The Whitley County Commissioners, which allowed for the project to occur on their property here on the courthouse square. The Whitley County Historical Society, which put their efforts into the project as well. Gene Smith of Smith & Sons Funeral Home has agreed to assist us in putting together a plaque that will go on the project so that everyone for the next 50 years know what it is they're seeing here on the courthouse square. And Mark Sturdivant. Mark is the caretaker of the grounds here and will be mowing around this project for the next 50 years. So thanks to him. I think we've reached the point in time where it's appropriate to seal the time capsule. Mr. Bachman, if you'd step forward and give me a hand, and maybe a couple other fellas.
Okay. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. So here's something we're going to try that's maybe going to be a little chaotic, but I think it would be a lot of fun. If everybody that's here can get behind the time capsule, we're going to try to take a really big photo of all of us that's here. I don't know how well that's going to work or not, but if you'd be willing to go behind the time capsule, smaller people in front, taller people in back, space yourself out a little bit. We'd love to have you as a part of this moment in history.
You need your glasses, would you? Somebody's glasses? Oh, mine. Thank you. You're welcome.
There you go.
Okay, children up front, please. Those adults, if you can spread out a little bit. We're going to want to get kind of, do you need the pillars here, or do you think you can get wide enough lines here?
I'm going to try to do a pan shot
Oh,
But
try to do a
what would
pan
be
shot.
nice is
Okay.
if those who have okay knees can just bend in the front a little bit.
Yeah, so front to
Those
middle,
with
if you
okay
can
knees.
bend a little bit.
We want to try
Those
to
in the
keep
back,
everybody.
see if you can stand up tall.
Okay, we're gonna need everybody to hold still too. Yeah, everybody's got to try to hold as still as possible. It's a pan shot to try to get everybody, so it's gonna take a
So
little.
freeze.
So everybody freeze. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Now freeze.
Right.
Okay, one more time.
Hold that line. We're gonna do
Hold
one
that
more.
line. All right, here we go.
You can ice your knees when we get home.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for coming out today. Enjoy freedom.